Donna Adelson, day 4 of her trial. This is the summary and recap. Just for transparency, I am a law enthusiast, not like a paralegal, etc. However, we're going to get into everything that happened. I will link to everything below so you can check out everything for yourself. So, day 4 of the trial is important but less spicy than day 3 was. I will link to day 3 so that you can check that out for yourself. But what we have is the continuation of Sergeant Corbett. He is the lead investigator of this case with 29 years and 11 months, as he enthusiastically pointed out to us at the end of day 3. And there's been a lot of technical stuff because he has to go through and be the person who introduces all of the tech evidence. There has to be a lot of things set up, that he has a whole giant binder. They were working on this for 2 years before they made an arrest. And that means that they were very thorough. It took a long time to get places, but the longer you wait, someone will slip up. And in fact, the slip up happened when initially we talked on day 2 about how there was a roadblock, and Corbett showed a map and a presentation of the day that happened. Wendy had been at that roadblock on Trescott Drive going to Dan Markel's house. There were police sirens going, and there was the blockade because of the killing. And she just stopped and went boop boop, got out of there, if you don't remember that from day 2. And that was odd to the working roadblock officer. He goes, everyone else was like, how do I get out of here? Oh, what's going on? Why is this blocked off? People had questions. Wendy Adelson's Odyssey, the car that was identified, he said he couldn't identify the driver, but it was the same make and model car, that vehicle that Wendy had, that it stopped and just got out of there, just 3-point turned itself without any questions at all. And that was suspicious. The prosecutor asked if there were any phone records of Donna Adelson trying to get a hold of Dan Markel, trying to get a hold of her family, trying to get a hold of the daycare, anything like that. Because up to that point, supposedly, Wendy Adelson was getting her car repaired, or her TV repaired, not her car, from a Donna Adelson setup. So why is Wendy not curious? She sees the house that her children, the street that her children live on. How does she know that they're safe? Does she call the daycare and go, hey, are my kids there? Did Dan drop them off? Their father dropped them off? Okay, let me try to get a hold of Dan. Mom, I can't get a hold of Dan. I think something happened to him. There's police sirens and stuff happening. No rolling down to the window. Hey, officer, what's going on over there? I know that's my ex's house. Like, what's going on? None of that. Maybe because she already knew what was going down. She knew her children were already dropped off at daycare and safe. She didn't have any questions because she already knew. Allegedly, supposedly. She hasn't been charged or convicted with anything. But it's just odd behavior that you see someone that you know, your ex, the father of your children, their house is surrounded by blinking lights, and you don't check to see if your kids are okay, in the very least. Okay, you might not care about your ex, but what about your kids? She seemed fine with this situation, and it was odd because of the route that she took. If you look at this map, she went to lunch at a place called Aqua Ridge Way, and she had stopped at a liquor store to pick up some bourbon. Well, that's cool, but if you notice, there was a very, very short path, including the same liquor store closer to her house, and a much shorter pathway than the way that she actually took. She decided to take the scenic route all the way around to Trescott Drive and then go up after she made her 3-point turn. That's weird. Said that, or McBanois had said that she went to Charlie's house the day that the hit happened, confirmed that things were happening. He made both of them take a Xanax. They went to sleep, and he said, the money's in the trunk of your car. Well, how does he know that the money is in the trunk of her car? If he was Xanaxed out and sleeping with her all night, how does he know that there's money in the car? Someone else had to put the money in the car and tell him that the money was in the car. How did he know that the money was physically washed, and that explained why it was damp and moldy and musty? He had to know something. And what did he know? That Donna Adelson was at his house the night of the murder. So there was a text message from Donna Adelson saying, we're outside your house. And he said, I'm 10 minutes away. And there was indeed a cell tower pickup from Charlie's phone that equated to about 10 minutes away from his house the night of the murder. Okay, what's that about? Because they said that didn't happen, that there were no phone calls. And that's where we are. Then we have that there was an argument about Charlie and Donna's phone call coming in. There was an argument made by the defense, and the judge reviewed it and approved it, and there was a jail call to the recorded jail call. Then we had an undercover agent who we do not get to see for protection reasons because he's an undercover agent. So it was mostly focused on Donna and the prosecution throughout this trial, throughout this testimony. And the undercover agent explained that he was in charge of doing a bump. A bump is what most people would probably know as a sting, where he was setting up information not to initially catch somebody, but to start people talking. So it's less physical than a sting operation would be. So what it is he approached Donna Adelson. He knew who Donna Adelson was, and he was told to give her a piece of paper, which was a newspaper clipping about Dan Markel and a phone number. And he said, hey, I know what's up. I need money. Here you go. And Donna gets that information, and she calls the number, and she tells Charlie about it. The bump is to get her talking. She's given them, and that's a very interesting thing. They want to connect it to Donna. So they give it to Charlie. Charlie, the way the audio calls from Charlie go, during and after the bump operation. So what happens is Donna calls Charlie and says, we need to talk in person. Donna is trying so hard to get Charlie to shut the F up on these calls. She's like, we need to talk in person. Yeah, it's about the TV. The TV was like about 5K. We need to get together tomorrow and talk about it. Like maybe we'll go for a walk on the beach or something. But Charlie keeps going, well, what is it about? What did they say? What is it, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, we should talk about it. And she's trying so hard. We should talk about it tomorrow in person. And like maybe not talk about it. Like we can talk about it tomorrow. She's trying her best to say everything, but I think they're listening. Let's meet tomorrow in real life. She's like, you can hear her seething about how stupid Charlie is. And what's fascinating about that is the way Charlie talks on all of the phone calls after this is he makes it sound like he's some street smart, like he's a streetwise pro. Like he runs the streets with the best of them. No, he doesn't. He does certainly not. He has no criminal prowess whatsoever. Now, am I trying to say that I have criminal prowess? Absolutely not. But I'm saying that if I had something to do with something, I wouldn't be chit-chatting on the phone that could be tap-tapped. In fact, 10 minutes after she finally gets him off the phone, he calls back with more questions. My man, talk about it in real life. Drive to her house and meet up with her in real life, or get together tomorrow and ask all your questions. But he wants to know over the phone. He seems particularly peeved that Donna was the one who was given the threat and not him. He wants to be the center of attention, it seems. And just based on the way he was talking, he was like, but why did they approach you? Like, why? Like, it had more to do with, like, not that anything is happening, but what if there was, it would have to do with me. And she's like, it has to do with both of us. Let's talk about it tomorrow when we go for a walk on the beach. And he does not get the hint. He does not get the hint. I could just hear Donna doing this over the phone while she's talking to us. He thinks he's the smartest man in the room. Meanwhile, he can't get the hint that we shouldn't talk on the phone. And it's because it was several minutes. It was several minutes of Donna going, let's talk about it tomorrow. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Let's get together tomorrow in real life. Like, we should chat about it. Like, we should just talk about it. Like maybe, like, I just don't want to deal with this over. I don't want to be on the phone for that long. Charlie is like, he's going, are we getting sued? Is there a bad review? And she's like, yeah, it's a review that we should talk about in real life. And she's like, people always can say anything. And Donna's like, yeah, like, we it's probably nothing. Like, let's just get together. And he's like, he goes, well, are we being sued? And she's like, I'm not sure. Maybe we can talk about it tomorrow off of the phone. Keeps going. And then she says, I really just want to talk to you. I think it's best that we meet tomorrow and talk about this tomorrow afternoon. And he goes, well, can you take a picture of the letter and send it to me to show me what was sent? And Donna's like, no, I really don't want to do that. I can just show it to you tomorrow. And if you're wondering why I'm going on and on about this is because this was most of day 4, was watching and listening to the calls, the wiretapped calls that were happening between Donna and Charlie, which is mostly Charlie just not getting a hint. And the best part about this was in the 10 or 15 minutes, like, she spends forever trying to get him off the phone, and 10, 15 minutes later, he calls her again, and she's like, and then she tries to give him a little more information to satisfy him until tomorrow, because it's clear that he's not understanding that the phones are wiretapped. And she keeps on saying, we shouldn't talk here. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just talk about it tomorrow. So she mentions, and so he goes, what did they ask for? And she goes, I'm not really sure. The TV was probably about $5. And he's like, they asked you for $5,000. Cannot read the room, huh, Charlie? And then Donna Adelson, like, trying to get him to understand what it's about, because she doesn't seem sure if he doesn't understand or if he does understand and he's just being dumb about understanding. She goes, and they mentioned an ex-girlfriend. Now, as it turns out, despite being a moron, Charlie Adelson seems to have some kind of a way with the ladies, because he has a line of ex-girlfriends. And Donna Adelson says he mentioned, an ex-girlfriend, that there was an ex-girlfriend. So Charlie gets off the phone with her and then goes to Katie McBanois, all of his ex-girlfriends, and he knows it's about Katie. Well, dude, you obviously know what she's talking about then, don't you? You know the situation, so why didn't you get off the phone? I don't know, but Charlie was the absolute downfall in this phone call. One, that Donna made a phone call to him to begin with. And, like, I don't know, maybe if she would have tried to text him or drove to his house, or I don't know if he was at work or wherever, but she could not get him off of this phone call. And it was crazy. And it was a lot of him not getting it. And this brings us into day 5. It's because the rest of day 4 and day 5, we're going over the wiretaps and phone calls. Charlie keeps calling Katie. Katie is like, she's saying, dude, why are you calling? He's like, I want you to call this number. to find out what's going on. She's like, no, you effing call. Why are you calling me? She's like, you want me to use my phone to get involved in all this? She goes, somebody is just throwing out names, because when Charlie called the bump number and he was like, who's Sammy? And the undercover agent's like, yo, who are you? I gave my number to a lady. What do you have to do with this lady? How'd you get this number? And he goes, my brother Tatu isn't getting taken care of. You know, Katie and Tutu are getting taken care of. And when Charlie brings up Tatu and Tutu and etc. to Katie starts getting real. She's like, what's going on? And it's because Tatu and Tutu are Siegfried Garcia and Luis Rivera's street names. Charlie shouldn't have those names because he's not involved in anything with them. So somebody's using those names for him and stuff like that. And Charlie is trying to make himself seem so much more important than he is. And again, he continues to act upset that he's not more of the focus of attention. He's like, I'm the big dog here. And he tries to act like he's controlling a situation while simultaneously sounding freaked out and trying to get Katie to do more for it. And she's like, no, dude, you effing call. Donna gets reprimanded by Judge Everett. And not for her face this time, but because she had taken off her headphones. If you'll notice in multiple pictures when I have them on there, she has to get told to put her headphones on. She doesn't want to listen to these phone calls and the wiretaps. It really makes her visibly uncomfortable. She doesn't want to hear this. This is, I think, where internally, while she's sitting in the defendant's spot, she knows that this is where, like, her fate is getting sealed, because she knows all of this stuff that was said. And she has taken her headset off, and he tells her she has to put the headset back on, because she said that she needed headphones to be able to hear. She's so feeble, she can't hear. Well, then she's going to listen to all of the evidence, and she has to listen to the evidence. And Donna looks peeved as she goes to put the headphones back on, because she doesn't want to listen to this, and they're getting upset about it. If Donna would have just thrown the thing away and said that had nothing to do with me, we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. But what we have is a bunch of wiretaps that Charlie and Katie, and here's the thing, Donna knows who Katie is, because when she says ex-girlfriend, she knows what ex-girlfriend the undercover / blackmailer was talking about too. She knew which one it was. How did she know it was Katie? Katie never talked to Donna directly about the Dan Markel situation. And Katie says that outside of some pleasantries of, going to get some work done at the Institute, she didn't know. She never met her before. So how does Donna know that what Katie's car is, to put the money in Katie's car? Like, somebody's putting the money in Katie's car, right? So how does Donna know who the ex-girlfriend is, that it's Katie? How did she know to put the money in Katie's car? There's a lot of things happening of, okay, how do you know? How do you know? It's suspicious on all levels. Everyone's suspicious. And these phone calls they're trying to be more codeful towards the end, but it's not really getting too far. That's the end of days 5 and 6, days 4 and 5, pardon me. Again, everything will be linked below. I hope you've been enjoying the trial coverage. Again, there wasn't a whole lot other than listening to the wiretaps and watching. They had them on the projector screen, the transcript of what was happening. They were highlighting important parts, like parts that they wanted the jurors to be particularly noted to. And yeah. And so it just seems like if Charlie would have zipped it, if Charlie would have picked up things a little sooner, if there would have been a little more real life talking and less phone chit chat, maybe we wouldn't be here. But we are happy that it happened, because justice. I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.